Big up Rene Wise. As you guys know, I'm a big techno fan, I'm a big dance music fan, I'm a big DJ fan and shit. And I think in general, it's really difficult nowadays to be a fan of somebody and kind of watch their journey, because a lot of people kind of go from hero to zero very quickly, and then unfortunately the quality of music suffers. You follow somebody, especially in the techno scene, you kind of become fans of them, you start to watch or buy all their releases, go and see them play, but then over time, as they become more popular, their skill set, their quality of their music really dips hardcore, and it can be hard to kind of stomach that. Oh my god, you used to love this person and now they're absolutely terrible. That isn't the case with Rene Wise. Rene Wise has always been somebody that I've kind of been a fan of. I kind of gravitated to Rene Wise, whatever that fucking word is, when I was kind of getting a bit bored with the whole oots, fast for fast sake, 140 BPM techno thing that was going on. When I find Rene Wise, at the same time I found Maron, and they both they're both involved in the same party over there in Amsterdam called Commune, and I loved them because of the grooviness of what they played. So it was the techno that you kind of are all familiar with, but it had a bit of rhythm, had a bit of bounce, had a bit of melody, had a bit of musicality to it. It just didn't sound like it was smashing you over the head and, you know, hoping that you'd fucking go to sleep. It was actually kind of nice to listen to, I'm not gonna lie. So I've always been a big fan of him because of that. And it's been great to see that although he's become way more popular than he was when I first started getting into him, and I've seen him play all over the fucking place, now he's still performing and producing the same quality of music. The quality hasn't decreased. So I have to give the guy ratings for that. He just released actually a new EP at the moment as well, which I definitely think that you should be checking out. The EP, if I remember correctly, is called, I think it's Moving Something, right? If I'm not mistaken. The EP is called Moving Pressure. Number one is from his label, self-released. So the first EP from his label called Moving Pressure. A big fan of the flipping EP. Please make sure you check it out if you haven't already. And another big news about Rene Wise, again, watching his journey has been fucking amazing, is that this date, allegedly the date here, on the 9th of the 6th in Berghain, he's going to be closing. And closing set in Berghain is like the premier sort of like honor to be closing Berghain main room. Same with closing Panorama Bar main room. But to be considered to already be doing that so early on in his career, and obviously it's kind of a sign of how much he's been tearing it up and how much he's kind of highly regarded in the scene. And it's good as well because he's only getting better, he's only improving, and he hasn't dipped in quality, he hasn't become corny, the quality of music hasn't fucking subsided, he hasn't turned into a cunt for the most part. I can see online, he communicates with his fans, he likes comments, he answers questions and shit. He's a fucking sound guy, and he comes across obviously pretty well in interviews as well. So I'm really happy to see that this has become a thing. And obviously, you know, allegedly this date here on the 9th, he's going to be headlining Berghain, so I really am curious to see what that's going to be like. I aim to try and be there for that weekend actually in June. I'm going to try though, because I think I'm also going to be there at the end of May, so maybe those two dates together might be a bit too soon, but I'm going to try to make best to make it work, because that'll be pretty sick to see him close Berghain and to kind of see him go from being somebody that I watched perform at Fold, right, like many a times, or you know, yeah, 2 or 3 times I think at Fold, and then to go from that to now suddenly closing Berghain is absolutely crazy. But then this goes to show that, you know, quality music does kind of sustain you and does kind of continue going on. So big up fucking Rene Wise. And because we're talking about Rene Wise, we're going to obviously play one of my favorite tracks actually from the EP, Moving Pressure. As much as people kind of love, again, it's a 4-track EP. It starts off with Escape Syro, Cajun Green, Dry Beetle, and then Lonely Singing at the end. I think the first, because it's such a quality EP that I really like, and oddly enough, I always have different favorites every time I go back and listen to it. I think the first favorite was obviously Cajun Green, then Dry Beetle, but now I'm starting to kind of warm towards Lonely Singing, and it's the last track on the EP. Usually the first 2 tracks on the EP are usually the A side, and those are usually what people deem to be the singles, the quote unquote the hit records. And at the moment, judging from Apple Music, Escaping Syro has been the biggest track and the most popular one that people kind of love from him, and I'm assuming Cajun Green follows. But I actually always have been a B-side type of guy anyway. So I'm actually more into Lonely Singing. It's absolutely banging. I'm going to play it for you now. It's Rene Wise, Lonely Singing. It's available now, all digital streaming platforms. Check it out. It's flipping hard. that is Rene Wise, Lonely Singing, available now on all digital streaming platforms. Make sure you check it out. Some of those little bloop at the top, just the random little things. I just imagine some of that stuff coming on while I'm rolling on flipping 2CB somewhere, eyes closed behind some shades, doing my hot white girl dance, right? Because that's what I'm doing when I'm in the club. The first thing I'm doing when I'm in the club is my hot white girl dance. Let's see if I can find it. I forgot, it's in that anime, hot white girl dance anime. I remember there was a particular anime that had a gif about it that was really good. There's one of them, right? This might be one of them. That's definitely me. Yeah, that's, forget hot girl. That's definitely me. When I'm in a dance, this is definitely me. I'm definitely this girl, right? Listen to Rene Wise in the club, mouth moving all over the place, jaw swinging, you know, going absolutely crazy, looking pretty and hot, and looking hot and pretty, looking pretty and hot, and looking hot and pretty. Big up Rene Wise, big up all the ravers out there. Love and light to all of you people. Love and light to all